I am so excited for this episode of Close Up with one of my favorite people, Harley Cameron. I love working with you. I love doing promos with you. I love watching you do your thing and just like grow and watching you learn every week. It is truly so much fun to work with you. So thanks for coming to hang out with me.
Thank you for having me. Right back at you.
Here we are.
I love being with you.
Us gals together.
Us gals together.
Okay, so we are fresh on the heels of you coming back from Australia. We're recording this a week before it's released for you guys. So you literally just got back to the United States from Australia.
Yes.
Got to go home, see your family, go out and put on this amazing show in front of such an amazing crowd. I got to see you talking after your match, and you were emotional about that. But just talk to us a little bit more about what that meant to be able to go home and kind of show everybody what you've been doing.
It was so surreal and amazing and just all the emotions in the world at once. It's crazy. I did touch on after it when we spoke that I had left Australia with no idea what I was going to do. You know, I had a great career back there and all my friends and family, which is, I have a very big family, and I just kind of left it all and came over here hoping that I'd figure something out. And it was a really nice full circle moment to go back and to have everyone, that I left and hadn't seen so many years and look out at what was happening or what I was a part of and just go, wow, it worked out. It was very special.
Talk to me about what your career was in Australia before you came here, because you've done so many different things.
Yes.
Like you have easily the most versatile resume of anybody I've ever seen.
Yes, I've done it. I don't know. I've lived like a million lives somehow.
Yeah.
I started a long time ago in journalism, and then I went into the fitness industry, did bodybuilding, personal training, nutrition, all of that. I ended up working in finance. And then I, obviously have been a musician in my whole life. I've been performing in bands and everywhere that you can imagine since I was probably about 13. But I became contracted full-time to the industry more like in theatre and cabaret and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was doing live performance, for the last few years of my life before leaving. So I loved my job, and I was always in front of an audience, doing stuff like that. But I definitely went through all kinds of career paths.
Sure.
But, entertainment's always just been my passion, and it's kind of what it ended up.
What was it like for you when you're getting ready to leave Australia, you're leaving your family, and you don't really know? Like, it's one thing to leave and go, this is the one thing that I'm going to do. But you weren't sure exactly what the plan was?
No, I had no idea.
I'm going. I'm out of here.
It sounds so like corny, but I literally was like, I'm going to chase that great American dream that we all hear about.
Yeah.
When I moved here, I didn't even have a work ability. So I knew that I was coming here and leaving everything. And it was really rough for a long time. It was hard because I wasn't allowed to do anything, but the day that I got
you didn't have a work visa.
Yeah, I didn't have a work visa. And it's when you come to this country and you can't work, it's pretty scary. But I knew that I at least had things that I could do and volunteer in. And when I first landed, I remember going to a hotel and
Where did you go right away?
Orlando. I think I was at the...
Why Orlando?
So my partner at the time was in wrestling.
Got it.
And the wrestling hub was in Orlando.
Okay.
So I knew what he was going to do. I just didn't know I didn't know I'd go down the same path.
Okay.
Right? But we got to the hotel and I remember going down to the lobby and looking at all the little brochures of the things that were in Orlando. And I found this Orlando rock show and I looked at it and I thought, oh, yeah, this is a performance thing. So I showed up there and I said to them, hey, I just moved here yesterday. I can't be paid, but I would love to volunteer and perform here. And then it was that night that I did my first performance for them, and they kind of said, do you have an act? And I was like, yeah. So I did my first show that night, but I had to volunteer, and I just did a lot of volunteer work in music when I first got here, and that kept me sane.
Yeah.
But I immediately fell in love with wrestling from that day onwards because I was obviously immersed in that environment, and I would travel every weekend to all the house shows and everything and all the indie shows that I could, and I saw wrestling for the first time in my life up close, and I just fell in love again. And I was like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do.
What was it that you saw that you were like, I want to do that?
I think, obviously, I grew up watching it and loved it as a child. And then growing up in my teens and such, I fell out which I think a lot of people do, especially in Australia, because it's even less popular where I was from. But then when I came here and saw it up close, I just thought, oh my gosh, this is everything that I love. And, and I was just so fascinated with the performance, the athleticism. Like I saw the passion and the dedication that the athletes doing it, were going through. And I thought, oh my gosh, I really want to see if I can learn this, because I just became the biggest fan again.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, I don't want to just watch. I want to be in there doing it.
So this is all still relatively very new to you.
Yes.
You've not been doing this for very long, and you just came out of doing a massive show in Australia against one of the biggest female stars in this industry. I mean, what a moment for you. Have you had time to kind of reflect on what that short period is of what you've been able to accomplish?
Oh, definitely.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's
Like,
really
what number
crazy.
match was that for you? Do you know?
I think Mercedes was my 64th match ever of my life.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I honestly and I don't take that lightly, because there are people who've been doing this so much longer than me. And I am very aware of how special it is to be where I am and how lucky I am. And I don't take that for granted. And that is why, I'm obviously working here and signed, but I still train like I haven't got a contract yet.
Yeah.
Because I know I have to, because I know I need to show that I deserve to be here. And my focus and my goal right now is just getting better and better. And it's surreal. I cannot believe how lucky I am to be in this position. And be so new to wrestling. Like what? Like, I don't know how, but I'm just thankful, and I'm just determined to, to show the rest of the world that, I love this, and that I'm going to keep working at it.
I've said this to you before, but just like publicly to say it, to watch the way that you work, to have matches thrown at you, to us doing promos together that can be back and forth, and all these different things that are happening, to going back out and having other matches. Like, your work ethic is so impressive. Where do you think that comes from?
Thank you. I think, honestly,
because it can be really forgotten, I think, because there's so much. It's so funny and it's so big that you just, I don't know, you kind of forget the work that goes into those things all landing and hitting.
100%. I think for me, the biggest thing is I've always had this, I've had a long career in entertainment and being on stage and doing all that. And coming from that background, I know how unforgiving it is to be juxtaposed to someone in the same industry, because your flaws and your weaknesses stand out straight away. So I'm very passionate and I want to get better at this, but I also know that I am very lucky to be in the position I'm in, and I'm in there with people such as Mercedes, who are some of the greatest wrestlers alive, and that when you're standing side by side with someone who works in the same company as you and is getting the same opportunities and, stage as you, it is so important to show that you belong. And you can, being as new as I am, I know that the only way that I'm going to show that I belong is to put the hours in, is to put the work in. And that's why I'm just very passionate. I get off the plane from TV and I'll get my car and I'll drive straight to training.
Yeah.
And I spend my life in that ring, and I watch as much as I can. And I know I have to, because I'm side by side with some of the best in the world. And I don't want to give anyone an opportunity to go, you don't deserve this, because I know that I'm lucky to be here, and I want to show that that I'm passionate and that I want this,
But you're also in such an interesting position to, like, one version of it, like you just said, of like putting in the effort to be good in the ring, which is obviously what we're here doing. It's a wrestling show.
Yeah.
But you bring so much other stuff to the table, with the singing, with puppetry, with ventriloquism. Like, did you ever think when you started in wrestling that you're like, okay, well, I also have all these other things. Is that what I'm going to bring to the table here? Was that always kind of the plan?
Not really, but I will say one thing that I like to think about when I'm like, how did I get here so quick, is that, wrestling in a whole, it's not just about the physical aspect. I do think it's about connecting with an audience and, showcasing your personality and being different. And I think that the years that I lacked in the ring, I worked for so long and crafted in entertainment that was my strong point.
Yeah, you still have that jumping off point of like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, you put me in front of a camera, put me out in front of 1,000 people with a microphone. That's my comfort zone, and that's what I've worked so hard for 15 years for.
Yeah.
And I think that I kind of knew that, like, when I started learning wrestling and the business and everything that comes into it, I thought, okay, that part I know that I feel so good in. So that's the part that I can walk in confidently with.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't know that I'd bring like my puppets in and stuff, but here we are, and I'm not
Hold
complaining.
my beer.
Fantastic. I think it's fun to be different too, and to kind of just show the world different things in the wrestling world.
Are you watching people that have kind of walked a little bit of a similar path to you in terms of like a Santino or an R-Truth, or like people that have had that comedy act but are very accomplished still in the ring?
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. I think that, again too, like I think that the best thing that I can relate to is making an audience feel something. And I think that my whole life I've kind of gravitated towards comedy.
Yeah.
I love to laugh. I like to make people laugh. And there's definitely people that inspired me in that regard.
Yeah.
You know, even one of my coaches, Breeze.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. He's like, you're not too bad, mate. He always had such great emphasis on how important it was to have like a strong character and that character work and everything. And he kind of always said to me too, like, you can make people laugh and people remember that, and you should, you can work to your strengths. And I think that no matter what field of work I've been in life, I've always liked to make people laugh. So it's nice to be able to bring that into my character.
And it's cool seeing that all kind of get fleshed out, more of those things being brought to the forefront of what you bring to the table here in AEW. But even just going back to like you getting into performance and all these different aspects, from singing, ventriloquy, puppets, you speak
Mandarin.
How did you learn to speak Mandarin? Like, have you always just been like busy of like, learn this? Like, have you just always been like that? What is that about?
Yes, I have too much energy. But I know I love to learn. It sounds so lame, but I love to learn new things.
Yeah.
No, that whole situation was because at the time, back in a different life, I worked in finance, and where I was situated in Australia, our clientele was predominantly from China, and working in sales and everything like that. I knew that if I could relate better and speak the language and so on, that it might be more beneficial in my career path. And then I became friends with a lot of people, and just naturally thought, I think I could use this and learn it. And so I started studying that, and that's just how that happened.
Every time you think you understand who this woman is, there's like another layer to her that I'm like, wait, sorry, what? It's so funny to me. Are there other things that you're working on, or other areas of interest that you're like, at another point, I'm going to kind of dive into that, or like, this is another thing that kind of interests me?
I mean, honestly, right now, I'm so wrestling crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm just obsessed with wrestling. I just want to be the best that I can be. I want to put all my effort and energy into that right now. I mean, I'll always have like all the other stuff I do on the side I still will love. In fact, actually, I got a little something up my back.
What is
Let
what?
me just see.
Oh my God, a real surprise.
Wait,
What is?
Hold on, I got to get in there.
I don't know where you've stuffed
It's not
that thing.
just me. It's me and Elle. Yeah.
Where did you have that hidden?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
Yes. Elle wanted to come and say hello. I had to.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us.
So good to see you.
What a handsome, handsome man. What a
He is.
great purchase he was,
Yes.
huh?
I always wanted to meet you, Renee.
Yes. Elle wanted to say hello to Renee. He's a big fan.
What a guy. I'm
Yes.
so thrilled that he's here.
Thanks. I never knew you were a floating head.
Oh, it's because of a camo.
Oh, yes,
all right,
yes.
yes. Well, if I were to touch on if there's anything I do like to do on the side,
It's this.
yes. I do enjoy a good puppet. Anyway, okay, well, goodbye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, my, bye. Thank you for your
Thank you for
service.
stopping in.
One of my favorite moments that we've been able to have, we were in New York City when we had the pay-per-view, and you came out with me and my daughter, and we went and saw the Rockettes,
Yes.
which, like, every time she sees you now, she's still like, Danny, we went to the Rockettes. But when we got stuck, we're in the city, can't get out, can't get an Uber. I needed an Uber with a car seat, couldn't get one. It was like a fiasco. It is
man.
my daughter's bedtime. She's about to lose it. And this one pulls out the puppet that I got for Nora and starts singing the duet from Beauty and the Beast and like totally saved the day. Nora was so enthralled with this performance. I've posted on my Instagram before if you guys have seen
Yes,
it or
it was
need to venture
Nora's
into it.
adorable, by the way.
She's cute.
She saved the trip.
She's
yes.
a sweet little.
That was my
she's a
first
sweet little
time in
thing.
the city.
Yeah, and it was a great time.
It was excellent.
It was really, really fun.
Yes.
Okay, so you do all of these things, you wear all these different hats, but you come from a very large family. You have a
Yes.
lot of siblings.
Yes, I'm 8 siblings.
And where do you rank amongst the 8 siblings?
I am the second youngest. I have a little brother. Hello, little brother. But he's big. Even though he's little, he's a very big, hefty boy.
Is this maybe where the song and dance comes from of like, there's a lot of people around here.
Right.
How can I get someone to pay attention to me? Is that where it maybe comes from, is having so many siblings?
Yeah, I think so. I think I had to be loud to stand out. Our family is loud and crazy. Our Christmases are wild. I miss them very much. It's been a long time since I've been.
Who's the loudest?
Oh, me, for sure.
Okay, like if there's someone louder than you.
Yeah, definitely me.
But more singers in your family too, right?
Yes, all of my family can sing. They can all hold a tune quite well, except for Lara.
Oh.
Poor Lara. She's tone deaf. Sorry. You
That's a
poor
bummer.
thing. I know, and we're unforgiving. We'd all be like, la, la, la. Except for you, Lara. Poor Lara. We love you, Lara. She's the nicest one, though. She's very lovely. She got the kind heart and the bad voice.
Sorry, Lara, but it sounds like you're still a lovely woman.
She's lovely.
What
I
is
love
your
you.
guys' family go-to harmonizing song? Do you have one?
Oh, gosh, not really. My sister, Renee, if I have to do a hierarchy of the best performer to the worst. Obviously, we have Lara at the bottom. Sorry, darling. But Renee, one of my other sisters, fantastic singer, but God, she'd always make me sing more than words.
Wow.
I love you. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
harmony in that. I don't know why, but I just remember being a child.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
and she'd
Yep.
be like, sing this with me. And I was like so young, but that was our go-to.
That is a good one.
Yeah, it's a pretty
What
good
is
one.
your solo go-to? Or the first song that you were like, this is the one that I want to really sink my teeth into?
Oh, I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You went Whitney right off
went
the bat.
Whitney.
Good for you.
Yeah, I went Whitney. I remember being in high school. I think I was like 14 and sung it at like a talent show. And then I was like, oh, well, I can bust a tune.
I can do this.
A little bit, yes. Yeah, so that was my go-to. But now it's Separate Ways by Journey. That's my favorite.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so what else in wrestling do you want to accomplish? I know that, you're, as you said, this is what you're completely submerged in right now. You
Yes.
just had that amazing match with Mercedes. What's next for you?
I mean, the sky's the limit.
It is.
You know, I feel like I obviously, and it sounds corny, but I want to just keep getting better. I want to get my reps in. I want to learn from the best. I want to get in the ring with absolutely everyone. And, I'd be lying if I was saying that, one day I didn't want to take home the gold.
Yes.
Because if you don't, what are you doing? What are you doing in the business? I want to reach the pinnacle of what can be achieved. And I will always have that in mind. But I mean, I'm enjoying the journey. If I must say also, the best thing about this is the learning and just getting to like really soak in every week what we get to do and how lucky we are.
Yeah.
And just really enjoy the whole process. I love learning. I love when I make mistakes so that I can learn from them. I appreciate the
Are
legends.
you a perfectionist when it comes to your stuff? Do you like watch everything back and kind of like nitpick? Like,
Yeah, actually, I have a friend who I like have a YouTube thing that I log in under theirs because they have premium.
I do that to John.
Yeah. But they always say to me, I won't say who it is, but
It messes
they always say,
algorithm up.
oh my God, like you just search yourself all the time, you freak, you're a narcissist. And I say, I just like to watch it back to pick it apart. It's not because I'm watching it like, my God, look how great I am. I like to watch it back and be meticulous with it so I can learn. So I promise you I'm searching to learn.
What is the best piece of advice you've received since being in the world of pro wrestling?
The best bit of advice, just make everything count.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, obviously I got hired with barely any wrestling experience, and I knew.
How did that even happen, by the way?
I did. Super long story short is I had an opportunity to do a dark match when we had them at Universal. I got to be seen then. I got to cut a promo then. And I think there was a specific role they had in mind for QTV at the time. And they decided that I was the best person for that role in the company. And again, too, back to your other question with that is that began that way. And I was told, like, you might have one line or you might have 10 seconds, but you have a chance to make everything you do count. So it doesn't matter if you're on screen for 10 seconds or a minute, make the most of that. And I think that when I do anything, if it's, you know, a backstage or if I'm in the ring, like that is your time to show why you belong there and why you deserve to be there. So just make everything count. And I think that I try and carry that like on a daily basis.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, listen, I'm so glad that we got to do this. You're an absolute gem. We all already know that, but there's just more of it for you guys. This woman is incredible. Cannot wait to see what the world of wrestling offers you moving forward, because you are doing your part. Wrestling's going to meet you at the other end, and cool shit's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love you. I appreciate
Love you, buddy.
And this woman is fantastic. I love working with you. So thank you for having me on. I've been excited for this for a long time.
We did it.
We did it. Yeah. Back to the city.
Yeah. Go Rockettes.